Thanks for holding this. This is Eddie. Hey, what's up, man? I found this /6. You know, I'm always looking on Craigslist. You always get killer deals. A lot of people don't know what they have, and you just got to keep looking. And this /6 popped up. Instantly, I called. You know, I wanted to make an offer. The bike looked all there. It was awesome. It's a beautiful bike. Definitely has a lot of patina. It's been sitting for a long time. Didn't really know what we had. It was just one picture we were going off of, but it did look like it was all there. There was no battery covers, but side covers. So instantly, you know, told my dad about it. Within the hour? All right, man. I look forward to it. All right, cool. All right. Dude, you know what? We just found that the guy actually called for that /6, man. I didn't think he'd call back. Thought it was sold. So I got the address. Let's get my pops, let's go.
Yeah, so all of a sudden Eddie comes up to me and tells me that he found a bike locally that was for sale, an old R90 /6. And we didn't have one of those yet. We've been wanting one, so it was a perfect time to go down and have a look. It wasn't too far away.
Pretty exciting, man. This thing's gonna be a score.
It's gonna be a cool deal.
Man, I'm pretty stoked we found this bike, dude. I gotta say, it was a killer deal. It's awesome. We're gonna go check it out.
Yeah. What do you know about this thing?
Not too much. The guy didn't really know much. It was his dad's. His dad passed away. It was been in his barn for a while. He says it might be a 74, 75. From the pictures, it looks pretty rough, but I'm not too concerned about that. That's kind of how we like them anyways.
Yeah, perfect. Sounds like exactly what we're looking for. Maybe we can stop at the brewery on the way.
Yeah. Have a couple beers. So where are we going?
It's like right here someplace. It looks like this is it right here.
We rolled up, it was like a barn, man. It was really trippy. You roll up and it's like a barn with horses and chickens. And you're like, oh man, are we in the right place? And we pulled in. Sure enough, the bike was just sitting right there at the barn. It was all dusty. It looks like it's been there for a long time. This kind of place is kind of funky.
This place is crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's like roosters and horses and everything. Whoa, there it is right there.
The bike.
Yeah.
Wow.
Man, she looks like she's been sitting there a long time.
Way long time.
2005.
Cool.
This thing hasn't run in a decade, over a decade.
Yeah.
If that, maybe even longer.
Yeah. Well, we can change that.
It's kind of tragic to see this bike just sitting here in the corner. It needs a new home for sure.
Cool.
She's a diamond in the rough.
Pretty dusty and dirty in a barn with a bunch of horses and chickens and stuff. A typical classic barn find.
Carburetor's all hanging off. Man, just wondering what's inside that head.
Yeah. But it looks like mostly everything's here.
Pretty much, huh? That's pretty cool. The emblem's all hanging down.
And what's missing, we have it in stock.
We do. So it's not even a big deal.
Yeah.
This is probably the best way to find one of these old bikes.
Totally.
So yeah, we walked up on the bike and it's kind of funny. The badge is all hanging down on the cylinder. It's missing the side covers. You know, it was all there, but it was beat. The starter relay's hanging. You can see under the tank. The tank's not mounted. Cool. This should be a fun project. Look at, here's the starter relays just like hanging.
Oh, trip out.
Man, this thing's...
And a couple pieces are missing, like the petcocks are gone and the turntables.
Hey, we have those cool Everbest petcocks.
Yeah, we sure do.
Awesome, man. This thing's gonna be awesome.
That's okay. Those are the things that we would be replacing anyway.
You think we want to take this one?
I think so. I think we should just maybe make sure
The price is right?
the price is right, and maybe we should check to make sure that the motor's not frozen or anything, so we kind of have an idea what we're up against.
It's missing petcocks. It was missing a couple things, but you know, we'd probably replace a lot of that stuff anyways.
Go on.
So I guess we'll see if the motor turns and the transmission shifts.
Yeah.
So I guess the most important thing when buying a bike is you want to make sure the motor turns, because if the motor doesn't turn, then you just walk unless you don't know what you're doing. So what we did was pretty much standard procedure. You could take the plugs out and I mean, you could use the kickstart, but I usually do it this way because you can actually test the transmission, make sure there's no clunking, and also make sure the engine turns. It's just in one function. So what you do is you just put it on the center stand, you put the rear wheel up in the air, you put it in fifth gear, and you just turn it. Turn the rear wheel counterclockwise, and if the motor's turning and you don't hear any clunks, she's a runner, man. She don't need much.
No tools or anything.
No tools.
Okay, we'll do this. Well, if you could spin the rear wheel, and you could put it in, you could try to grab fifth. The gearbox seems to shift. So
That's good. That's a good start.
So we got a whirl.
Yep.
Okay.
Motor's turning.
Motor's turning. Okay. Cool.
What's your plan for this thing? What do you want to do?
I think what we should do is we should get it running for starters.
Okay. We'll start with getting it running.
Maybe we'll replace basically all the seals. We have to assume that everything's going to leak on this thing, you know. And then let's just run it with the patina, man. It's cool. And then maybe someday we'll decide to restore it and make it like brand new. But for right now, I think we should
Just mechanically sound, make it a runner.
let's make it a runner. And
Can we do one thing though? Can we nix this fairing?
that thing's like the first thing to go.
That's before the engine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe we will change, and maybe we'll put some lower bars on or something. But in any case, that thing's out of here. Okay. Well, you know what?
This thing's all there, man. I really think this is going to be a cool, another awesome ride in our collection.
It's going to be a cool project. Let's go talk to that guy and see what
Let's just make the deal happen. Let's just make it happen. We kind of went back and forth on the negotiation, but I think it was a fair deal for everybody. It's going to a good home. Yeah, we pretty much scored on this thing.
Yeah. Let's load it up.
I can't wait to get it back to the shop.
Get started,
Let's
man.
do it, man. We're gonna put it back on the road. We're gonna kind of go through it right now. We're probably gonna restore it later, but we kind of just think it's kind of cool to have a /6, a 1975/6, just as a runner. So we're just gonna go through it, pretty much just make it mechanically sound, put all new seals in it, make sure it's not leaking, get it running, get it tuned up nice and right, and just ride it, man. And then when we're done riding, we're riding it, or you know, it's time to actually take it all apart and vapor blast it and rebuild the engine and the transmission and the final drive. I got it. Ready?
Yep.
Man, that was such a score.
Yeah, that was cool. I think this is
I'm
going
so
to be
stoked on this bike.
Yeah, it's going to be great. Get that thing rolling.
So we're pretty excited. We just got this /6. We're gonna have pretty much everything filmed, so you guys can see really, you know, these old bikes they're still out there. There's a lot of people out there, they just honestly don't know what they have, and they just sit, and it's kind of just pointless for these things to sit because they should be back on the road. Back on the road, that's where they belong, and that's what we do, is we keep Beamers back on the road. So the cool thing about this /6 is it's a perfect barn find, because this is how you find them out there. You find them cheap, and they need a lot of work. So I'm excited to show you kind of all the process of taking one of these bikes, putting on a lift, do it on the floor of your garage, whatever, but pretty much the process of elimination and make this bike roadworthy again. That's what we're gonna do, and that's what we're gonna show you. Thing has no brakes.
But before we get into that level of repair, we're going to actually just get it running and make it work just the way it is. We're not going to do really anything to do with cosmetics. We're just going to get the bike back on the road. And while we're doing that, we're going to be creating a series of instructional videos that will show you how you can do this sort of work yourself if you have a bike similar to this. And we're going to be using all of the parts that we carry. We can supply you the parts to do pretty much everything that we're going to show you in the videos to come. So stay tuned, and we're looking forward to having a good time with this R90/6.